This lesson's on some really rather nasty, but unfortunately necessary hacks to the core code of the estore plugin. Problem that we have to sort out is that, as we saw earlier, if the lightbox effect is disabled in the estore product settings here, clicking on the thumbnail image of a product takes us to the image itself. This really seems to be an error in the coding for estore. Surely the plugin should be written so that disabling the lightbox effect makes the link on the thumbnail either point to a specified URL, the course page for instance, or it should automatically remove the link from the image. But this isn't done automatically, and the forum at tipsandtrickshq.com tells us that the only way to prevent this behavior is to edit PHP files. As we've already seen, looking at themes, you shouldn't normally edit original files because there's the danger that your customized versions will be overwritten if the plugin is updated. But in this case there seems to be no other way, and the Tips and Tricks HQ website confirms this. We just have to edit the originals. So before you make any changes to any of the files, copy them and append original to their names so that you can always go back to the original version should anything go wrong. We have to edit several different PHP files, as different files control different styles of display. That's the Fancy 1, Fancy 2, Fancy 3 styles, etc., up to 13. The forum page is quite confusing because it deals with the changes you have to make to these various files in a series of questions and answers. It would be quite possible to miss some of the places where you have to make edits. Because of this, I've provided what I hope is a clearer summary of the files to edit in the lesson text, and I suggest that you use that. For the Fancy 1 and Fancy 2 displays, you have to edit the file estore-button-display-helper.php in the WP Cart for Digital Products folder. So, before you make any changes to this file, in Windows Explorer or your file manager, copy the file and paste it back into the same folder and change its name so that it has original in the file name. Then open up estore button display helper in a code editor. Find the line to be replaced. I tend to comment these out rather than deleting them so that it's easy to find what I've done, easy to undo the changes if I need to. Add in its place the new version. I'll put in a comment, RMS edited following, every time I make any of these edits. I'll make the comment the same so that I can easily find it using Find in Files in Komodo Edit. Save the file and exit. Now when we click on any of the thumbnails, there's no link on them. Now copy your edited version of the file and append My Version to its name, so that you also have a copy of the customized version to protect against it being overwritten. If you're only using the Fancy 1 and Fancy 2 displays on your website, as I've done, then that's all you need to do. But if you want to do the same for all the other display styles, which is probably a good idea, then you have to edit two files in the Extra eStore Shortcodes folder. First, eStore Extra Product Display Helper.php. Again, copy and rename the original before you make any changes. Make the changes as described in the lesson text. And again, back in Windows Explorer or your file manager, copy the file that you've just edited and paste it back and include my version in the file name. For the fancy 10, 11, 12 and 13 displays, you have to edit shortcode include.php in the same folder. Make and rename the copy of the original as before, and then open up shortcode include.php for editing. Find the lines to change again, comment out the original and paste in the new version. And again, put in your comment so that you know where you've made the change. You have to make the changes 6 times in this file, so make sure that you find all 6 occurrences of the text that needs changing. Save the file and exit, and again copy and rename your version. As you can see, this process is quite convoluted and prone to error, so you have to be careful editing the PHP. Some better solution from the plugin authors would be very welcome. In the next lesson, we'll look at styling the eStore product displays.